Breaking news! Socorro Task Force Kapihan spokesperson na si EDELITO Sangco nakatanggap umano ng pagbabanta sa kanyang buhay at ito ay mula umano kay SBSI Vice President Mamerto Galanida. Ayon sa post ni EDELITO Sangco sa social media, inihayag ko po itong banta ni Mamerto Galanida sa aking buhay. Hindi sa layuning ako ay humiling ng simpatya o may hinahamon. Ginawa ko lang ito dahil napapanahon. Ayon naman sa post ng dating miyembro ng SBSI na si Ma'am Dayan Dantes. Urgent notice. Our community's safety is paramount. EDELITO Sangco, a valued superhero, is facing threats from cult leaders. We urge everyone to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activity. Together, we can ensure the safety of our fellow resident. Kasi ang mga talunan ay gagawin ng lahat para lang makaganti. Samantala, sa DENR na daw nakasalalay kung matutuldugan na ang operasyon ng umano'y kulto sa Socorro, Surigao del Norte. Kahit kasi ikinulong na sa bilibid ang leader nilang si J. Renz Kilario, lumipat naman daw ang espiritu na tinatawag nilang Senior Agila. Sinabi ni Socorro Task Force Kapihan spokesperson EDELITO Sangco na may mas malaki pang problemang kakaharapin. Ang espiritu daw ni Senior Agila ay lumipat daw sa ibang miyembro ng SBSI.
Yung asawa ni Karen na si Rosalie, siya yun ang nag-spearhead sa campaign doon na huwag silang mag-alala kasi yung espiritu daw ni Senior Agila ay lumipat na doon kay Romero ako na siyang sa structure nila sa kanilang government na aspirant sa ministry government.
Para kay EDELITO Sangco, ang susi para matapos na ang paglilinlang sa Sitio Kapihan ay nasa kamay daw ng Department of Environment and Natural Resources or DENR.
Mangyayari po lamang yun kung ang DENR magkaroon na ng resolve finally na i-revoke nila yung Protected Area Community-Based Resource Management Agreement.
Inalis na ng Senate Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs at Committee on Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality ang Order of Contempt sa di umano'y cult leader na si J. Renz Kilario o Senior Agila at iba pang matataas na miyembro ng Socorro Bayanihan Services Incorporated o SBSI sa Surigao del Norte na sina Mamerto Galanida, Janeth Ahok at Karen Sanico. Pauwi na sana sila nang maglabas bigla ng arrest warrant sa Dapa, Surigao del Norte. Diniretso pa tuloy ng Senado sa Department of Justice o DOJ ang apat na SBSI officials. Bukod sa kanila, arestado rin ang 10 miyembro ng umano'y kulto sa Socorro. Lahat sila ay dinala sa NBI facilities sa New Bilibid Prison dahil sa mga kasong child abuse, sapilitang pagpapakasal at sapilitang pakikipagtalik sa mga minor de edad na miyembro ng SBSI, mga kaso na pawang non-bailable.
Magtanong po ako tungkol sa relocation saka reintegration plans para sa mga kasalukuyan at pati dating mga miyembro ng SBSI. So, Mayor Riza muna. Opo, yes ma'am, sakto. May mga komento po ba kayo dun sa so far na ipapanukala, na ipopropose na rehabilitation at reintegration plans ng ating mga government agencies na hindi na nga kumikilos na individually lamang eh. Meron po silang binuong task force pa para hanapin yung sinabi ni, I think Mr. Chair, ni Sec Yulo Loizaga at ni Sec Gatchalian na integrated approach. So, may comments po ba kayo doon, Mayor?
Magandang hapon po, Senator. No, ang Socorro LGU, may may municipal integration plan at nais ko sanang ipa-present. Gusto ko sana namin na mai-present sa aming task force Kapihan spokesperson na si Sir EDELITO Sangco.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Pakinggan natin.
Magkaiba.
Okay, para malaman namin yung plano nyo. Go ahead, Mr. Sangco.
Okay, may request the Secretariat to please play the PowerPoint presentation we have. Okay. So magandang hapon po sa lahat. Ako po si Mr. EDELITO Sangco.
Before you continue, coordinated ito sa provincial government?
Kung na-present na rin namin ito.
Kasi nagsabi na sa akin si Governor Barbers na siya rin daw, sikasuhin niya yung relocation.
Yes.
So, coordinated na kayo, ha?
Yan, na-present na namin ito
Okay.
sa pag
Continue.
next. Ito po yung Comprehensive Municipal Reintegration Plan ng Bayan ng Socorro. Ito po ay binalangkas lahat ng mga officers, mga department heads, yung Sangguniang Bayan, at pumunta pa nga doon yung mga BCAPs na taga-NGO na meron din silang inputs na inalagay namin dito sa plan na ito. Next slide please. For the outline, ito po yung presentation namin. Ano yung mga compelling reasons bakit kailangan i-reintegrate sila?
Yung ganito ha, Mr. Sangco, in the interest of time, yung important points lang.
Sige, diretso na.
Na malaman natin.
Diretso na lang.
Yung importante lang na punto.
Okay.
Oh.
Ang basis po talaga namin, diretso na lang tayo. Una, patuloy po sa slide, next slide na po. Sige, next slide. Ayan. Patuloy po ang cycle of lies and mind manipulations doon sa loob ng kapihan na kailangan na talagang mahinto. Yung nakausap ko yung kapatid ko last October 28, yung si Ninita Hilsano, at siya yung nagsabi na si Tsingalia, yung Tsinga Yamson yung nag-convince sa kanya na mag-sign ng affidavit against me, at saka si Sharon Corambaw yung nag-affidavit o nag-convince ng aking isang kapatid na mag-file ng complaint ng affidavit against me. Sinabog ko po ito kasi kahit dalawang kapatid ko na andon, by nature ang kapatid talagang magpatayan para pagdipinsa sa kapatid. Pero sa slot lang na offer, next slide please, may slot na offer sa kapatid ko for a sure slot in heaven, na ini-implicate nila ako na ako raw yung pasimuno sa lahat ng mga nangyari dyan sa kapihan. Isa pa, Mr. Chair, ito ang importante, yung nakausap ko rin yung October 28, yung sinabi ni Lovely na kanyang kapatid na pinaluhod ng 200 meters dahil hindi pumayag makipag-6 papunta sa bahay ni Jerens. Tinanong ko na, believe pa ba kayo kay Jerens bilang Panginoon? Sabi niya, bluntly, believe pa rin siya na Panginoon nila si Jerens. Next slide please. Itong si Rosalie Sanico, asawa ni Karen, siya yung administrator ng sinasabing Medica El Salvador Perpetua, yung hospital. Siya yung gumagawa ngayon ng kampanya na wag daw mag-worry yung kanilang mga members sa mga nangyari kasi malapit, ito raw ang pagpapatotoo na malapit lang dumating ang katapusan ng kalibutan ng mundo kasi raw andun sa Biblia na magsaya kayo kung kayo ay pinipersecute kasi ganun din ang nangyari sa mga propeta na nauna sa inyo. Sinabi rin ni Rosalie doon na wag kayong mag-worry kasi yung espiritu ni Agila, Senior Agila, ay lumipat na kay Romero Aho, yung kanilang Prime Minister, Supreme Prime Minister.
Jerens, pinalipat mo na yung espiritu mo? Nandun na kay Juan? Nandun na? Pinalipat mo na? Ha?
Hindi ko po alam yan kasi nasa contempt ako.
Okay. Sige, continue.
So, ang patotoo niyan, na naniwala pa rin sila, kasi kahit ganito na ang sitwasyon nila, na-expose na sila, pero on record, Mr. Chair, 3 pamilya pa lang, 11 katao, out of the 11, 5 bata, ang bumaba mula sa kapihan matapos ng first hearing. So expected na sana na bababa sila, pero hindi. 3 pamilya lang, 11 lang katao ang bumaba. Kasi andun si Rosalie, andun lang si Romero Ahok at iba pa na sinabi na huwag kayong mag-alala, lumipat na naman yung Agila Espiritu sa kanila. Kaya kung hindi ito mahinto, Mr. Chair, patuloy at patuloy na silang mag-produce ng mga soldiers of God. Next slide please. Ongoing yung house-to-house indoctrination nila among the 5 to 12 years old na children sa fetus cluster na sinabihan yung mga bata na useless ang mag-formal na pag-aaral. 5 to 7 years old yung fetus twinkler, 8 to 10 years old yung cubs fetus, 10 to 12 years yung fetus junior. Sinabihan nila na walang makapunta sa langit kung nag-aaral ka. Hindi daw makapunta sa langit. Kaya nga, kahit anong stopgap missions ang gagawin, yung taga-DepEd, taga-DSWD, kung sa loob ng kapihan gagawin ang pagpaaral sa mga bata, wala ring mangyayari kasi 4 years na silang ini-indoctrinate na hindi makapunta sa langit pag nag-aral sila. Next slide please. Ang mga turista doon ay natatakot na sa isyong ito. Ang takot ng mga turista patungkol sa presence ng kulto na tinatawag na tutuwanto, na may sariling private army, at merong suicidal doctrine na katulad ng ISIS at ng Mauti na pwedeng pumatay at magpakamatay sa kanilang Diyos. Merong sariling gobyerno na proclaim nila, nag-aawit ng sariling anthem at merong sariling bandila. Ikinatakot yan ng mga turista. Next slide please. Kaya nga, kahit anong ganda ng bayan namin, andun sa amin yung suhuton ko, andun sa amin yung stingless, non-sting, jellyfish, pwede kayong lumangoy at makipaghalubilo sa kanila, andun yun sa bayan namin. Pero next slide please. Meron pong 42% na pagbaba ng tourist arrival sa Socorro mula noong September na ma-expose ito by virtue of the privilege speech. 42% po ang pagbaba. 62% po ang pagbaba ng tourist arrival sa October 2023 as compared to September. So makita natin sa data ng Tourism Office, sa August merong 8,792 tourists, pero pag September nagbaba ng 5,062. So 3,732 yung hindi na yung difference niya. Ang matindi pag October nagiging 1,877 na lang. So 3,185 yung difference. Next slide please. At dahil ang Socorro sa Bukas Grande ay nasa patsya ng Surigao, yan po naka-encircle in red. Chances are high, mag-escalate itong tatakot ng turista sa kulto doon mismo sa Surigao. Malaki po ang tsansa na hindi lang sa amin maapektuhan ang buong Surigao na napakagandang isla. Next slide please. Patuloy na ginigiba ng mga membro ng SBSI ang Kalangugan Mahambong Watershed. Kailangan itong ma-stop. Ito pong Kalangugan Mahambong Water Springs, ito pong dalawang springs, ang source ng tubig sa Barangay Rizal, Navarro, Antarok. Ito po yung 665 hectares na watershed. During the incumbency, naging mayor pa si Mamerto Galanida from 2001 to 2010. Ang bayan ng Socorro ay nag-implement ng World Bank funded Community Resource Management Project. Records would bear us out, Mr. Chair, na ang Socorro Island Sustainable Resource Development Project, isa po sa pinaka-the best performing CBRMP projects sa bansa. Napag-agrihan po during that time na ang Kalangugan Mahambong Watershed ay jointly managed ng mga people's organization na partner ng project na yon, kasama na yung SBSI. Kaya nga, almost one-half ng 353 hectare timberland na cover ng PAGBABANTA ng SBSI ay napaloob doon sa 665 hectares na Kalangugan Watershed. Ito po yung mapa nila, Mr. Chair. Mapa ng watershed at saka yung SBSI. Naka-blue po yung watershed, nakapasok, naka-purple yung kanilang PAGBABANTA. Next slide please. Prior to 2019, maganda naman ang ginawa ng bayanihan. They were religiously doing their share. Nagkaroon sila ng upland development interventions, replanting, nurturing. Partner po nila ang Socorro Water District. Pero ang hindi inasahan na pagpunta nila doon pagsito noong February 8, 2019 ay nagdulot ng tremendous pressure sa mga resources doon sa watershed. True enough, Mr. Chair, maraming beses nagpunta doon ang water district personnel, caught on the act sila na nagmumutol ng mga kahoy. Sinabi lang ng mga members nila, pag-aari naman itong mga kahoy nito ng Diyos. At alam naman natin kung sino ang Diyos na sinabi nila. Next slide please. Ito po yung picture na kinuha ng taga-water district. Iyan pong nakikita na tao yan. Yan ay member ng SBSI. Next slide please. Ang mga lines ng tubig doon, they were indiscriminately pansing. So pag inuuhaw sila habang namumutol ng kahoy, pinagbubutas lang nila. So pupuntahan na naman ng taga-water district para i-repair. So kung magpatuloy ito, Mr. Chair, napakalaking problema sa water resource.
Mabuti at nakakapasok ang taga-water district doon. Okay lang? Nakakapasok nila?
Nasa watershed, adjacent yung watershed sa kanilang kasi yung napuntahan ng mga water district hindi na napasok sa kanilang pakbarma, pero nakikita nila yung taga-SBSI na doon namumutol ng kahoy kasi malaki yung watershed.
Okay.
Kunti na part lang yung SBSI na pakbarma. Next slide please. Kaya nga ito po yung concept of reintegration namin. Para mahinto na ito mga pangyayari at mabaligtad na yung cycle of lies, yung indoctrination ng mga bata sa uselessness ng formal schooling, at saka yung takot ng mga turista na pumunta doon sa Socorro at posible sa Surigao, at saka yung wanton na exploitation ng Kalangogan watershed. Kailangan talaga na i-disintegrate ang Kapihan community at ibalik ang mga tao doon sa mga barangays nila kung saan sila nakatira prior to 2019. So next slide please. Yun yung Kapihan. Kailangan silang ibalik doon sa siyam na barangays. Next please. Siyam na barangays kung saan sila. Salog, Honrado, Del Pilar, Sungkoy, Rizal, Navarro, Tarok, Sudlon at Nueva Estrella. Doon sila dapat ibalik. Next slide please. The game plan. As early as September 2022, ang bayan ng Socorro po, yung mga bagong officials, nagbalangkas kami ng executive legislative agenda na pag-usapan na po itong posibleng pag-reintegrate nila sa pagdating ng panahon. Kaya nag-execute si Mayor ng dalawang executive order, EO number 50 at 50-1, na nakalagay doon na dapat mayroong comprehensive reintegration plan. Next slide please. Ang purpose ng reintegration, Mr. Chair, number 1, dalhin ang mga SBSI residents pabalik sa mga lowland communities after na nag-reside sila doon noong February 8 at i-undergo sila ng mga mainstreaming into productive life. Number 2, allow the government and private institutions na pangalagaan ang kanilang kapakanan, socio-economic being, including security and safety, psychosocial at mga legal na mga problema. Next slide please. Ito po yung team na kinikreate ni Mayor namin, Logistics, Finance and Reintegration Team, Social Welfare and Development Team, Security Team, Health and Wellness Team, Emergency Response Team, Information and Education Campaign Team, Healing and Reconciliation Team, at saka Sustainable Development Team. Ito yung flow ng reintegration, Mr. Chair. Next slide please. Yung Information and Education Team ay pupunta sila sa Kapihan, magkampanya, rekorida sa iba't ibang pamaraan para hiyakayatin sila na bumaba na kasi tutulungan sila ng gobyerno. Pangalawa, meron ng security team doon sa loob, yung PNP at saka AFP. Pag meron ng ma-convince na mga pamilya doon, doon lang sila lalapit sa PNP at sasabihin nila na bababa na kami. Tatawag ang PNP sa Social Welfare and Development Team upang i-arrange yung transfer ng pamilya pababa. Next slide, number 3, ang Emergency Response Team, pupunta sila doon sa Kapihan, magdala ng mga vehicles at doon isakay yung mga pamilya, i-escortan sila ng taga Social Welfare and Development Team. Pang-apat, ang Social Development, Welfare and Development Team, sila na yung magdala ng mga former kapihan residents doon sa mga barangay officials na sinabi ko kanina. Tatanggapin sila ng mga barangay officials at i-distribute sila kung meron pa silang matirahan na mga kamag-anak, kung walang kamag-anak, doon sa mga government facilities, doon sila ilagay. At saka meron ding itatayo na mga temporary shelters. Sila rin ang mga social development team, sila rin ang mga ngalaga sa kapakanan ng mga taga-dating kapihan. Number 5, next step, please. Yung logistics, finance, and reintegration team, pupuntahan nila yung mga former kapihan residents at magbigay sila ng initial economic assistance na pambili nila ng mga sabon at saka ano pa para makapag-start sila ng new life. The number 6, Health and Wellness Committee at saka Healing and Reconciliation. So pupuntahan sila ng team, tatanungin kung ano na i-check sila yung health status nila at saka mag-conduct ng mga psychosocial briefing sa kanila. At yung last po, Sustainable Development Networking Team, ito po ang makipag-link sa lahat ng ahensya ng gobyerno at saka pribado upang mabigyan ang mga former kapihan residents ng karampatang serbisyo katulad ng mga andon sa United Nations Sustainable Development Goals tulad ng no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, decent work and economic growth, at saka reduce inequalities. Andito po, next slide please, ang inventory namin ginawa ng LGU doon sa mga bahay na iniwan nila. Dito, 9 barangays po ito. So, 407 families po ang nalista na andun pa sa kapihan na may bahay sa baba. Out of 407 families, 385 ang bahay nila na iwan. Pero out of 385, 258 yung nabinta na outright. 67 yung naprinda, yung with right to repurchase. At saka yung unsold, yung pwede pang balikan nila ay 36. At saka merong unsold pero na-damage na ng audit. Meron yung column dito last na meron bang mga relatives na absorb sa kanila. Out of the 9 barangays, only Barangay Honrado ang nag-indicate na may mga relatives, 19 relatives, na kukupin daw sila. Ito po yung budgetary requirements, Mr. Chair. Next slide, please. Ito yung mga gagawin ng mga committee. So ito yung number 1, ito yung mga activities nila, ito yung karampatang budget nila. Nakita namin, ang source po ay MLGU, PLGU, National Government Agencies at mga NGO. 2 taon po ito, 2023 at 2024. Ito yung sa Information and Education Team. Ito yung sa Security Team na mga gagawin nila. Next slide please. Ito yung sa Emergency Response Team. Ito yung sa Social Welfare and Development Team. At saka, next slide please, ito po yung sa yung sa Logistics, Finance and Reintegration Team. At yung pang-anim, Health and Wellness at saka Healing and Reconciliation Team. At next slide po, ito yung sa Sustainable Development Networking Team. Itong budget po na inalagay namin, pinagsama-sama na po namin, tiningnan natin yung sa LGU, yung sa province, sa national government agencies, at sa mga NGOs na yung sinasabi ko na present naman sila sa pag-prepare ng planong ito na willing silang tutulong. Ito po ang call to action namin, Mr. Chair. Number 1, for the DNR, next slide please, for the DNR to finally revoke or cancel the PAGBABANTA of the Socorro Bayanihan Services Incorporated. Ngayon na po, any further delay would do more harm than good. Sana po, i-cancel na yun. Number 2, for the legislature, sa mga congressmen natin at mga senador na sana po mag-allocate ng funds para sa pag-finance ng mga projects na ito. Amin pong sasabihin ng local government unit as of November 3, 2023, halos 3.8 million na po ang na-disburse namin for kapihan-related expenditures. Walang-wala na po talaga ang aming financial capacity doon. Nanganganib na yung bonus ng mga job order workers. Lahat ng mga programs and projects and activities ng mga departments namin ay ni-realign dahil sa gastusing ito. Number 3 po, for the national government agencies ng province at saka ibang LGU ng Pilipinas na makipag-partner sana kayo sa municipal government of Socorro sa pag-implement ng plano na ito. Maganda mang tingnan na pwede kayong mag-deliver individually doon, pero it's only good for the short term. Pero in the long run, tumutulong lang kayo sa mga leaders nila para magpatuloy yung kanilang panlilinlang sa mga membro nila. Number 4 po. Next slide please. Para sa mga national at international non-government organizations, particularly yung mga concerns sa attainment ng Sustainable Development Goals, sana tulungan din ninyo ang LGU namin sa planong ito. Alam natin na madali lang sabihin ito at mahirap gawin, pero pagsama-sama tayo, kasama na yung tulong ng Panginoon, at least malampasan natin ang mga epekto ng krisis na ito. Maraming salamat po.
So thank you, Mr. Sangco, for that presentation. So that plan that you have prepared can only be implemented if and only when DNR has decided to revoke the PAGBABANTA between SBSI and DNR. So may we hear from DNR what is the update?
Thank you very much,
But
Honorable Chair, Your Honors. As far as the decision on the investigation report that we conducted immediately after the issuance of a suspension order by the Honorable Secretary, we submitted it to her office last October 17, and we are just awaiting for her decision. But I would like to inform this August body that these are already included in our recommendation. So we're just awaiting for the official pronouncement of the Secretary on her decision as to the submission of the investigation team. We hope that before the month ends, our Secretary can decide, as was
Kumsek,
requested.
kindly check doon sa DNR budgetary kung andun pa si Secretary. If kung nandun pa, papuntahin mo dito. Invited siya para pakinggan natin, pakicheck doon. At tapos na? So, you know the urgency of this matter, right? Please, huwag tayong patulog-tulog.
Yes, sir.
Alapin natin si Secretary kagad. Sabihan nyo.
After this meeting, sir, I will go to the office of the Secretary and talk to the Undersecretary and follow up the decision of the Secretary on this regard.
Kasi kailangan ko kung if the final decision is the PAGBABANTA stays and it is not revoked, then we can do the subsequent action moving forward. Di ba?
We'll do it, sir.
Just like DepEd, anong plano ninyo doon kung hindi ma-revoke? Paano nyo pagpaaralin yung mga bata doon?
Good afternoon,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor. We have a very short presentation on our plan, if we may be allowed.
Very briefly lang, ha? Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
bago po magpatuloy si Dr. Maria Ines, kung pwedeng isama sa presentation or at least comments nyo kung may catch-up plan
Yes,
para sa mga bata ng kapihan at pati siguro yung mga dating DepEd teachers tulad nung isang resource person namin nung unang hearing, si Miss Lovely,
Opo.
na nagre-reapply daw yung
Yes.
ilan sa kanila makapagturo ulit sa inyo.
Yes,
Salamat,
Part po
Mr.
siya,
Chair.
ma'am.
Yeah, and take note that if all your efforts ay gagawin sa loob ng kapihan, kontrolado pa rin ng SBSI, baka masasayang lang rin yung effort
Yeah.
nyo. Kasi nga, observation natin na kanilang belief na kapag mag-aral, hindi makapunta sa langit.
Yes,
Diba?
yes,
So,
Your Honor.
baliwala rin yung effort sa inyo.
Yes.
So, dapat consolidated nyo yan.
Yes.
Naka-input na yan doon sa plano nyo.
Yes,
Sige.
Your Honor. Actually, we are coordinating also with the mayor. We attend in their comprehensive planning po.
Okay,
Okay.
please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, this is the reintegration plan of the Department of Education. Can we flash on the screen, please? So, our learning continuity plan and reintegration plan will just present the background profile, PPT results, issues and challenges, and ways forward. So just a bit of a background, we know already that this is the one that is pointed is the Socorro that is actually part of the division of Surigao. So next slide, please. So all these things happen because of the difficulty of the children to go down and continue their schooling. We can go to the next slide, please. These are only background. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, when we map out, we consolidated around 791 children there enrolled in the different grade levels based on our mapping. That is segregated male, female, and a total from kindergarten, elementary grades, junior high school, up to ALS. Next slide, please. So last October 25 to 26, when we visited the SBSI, we also conducted, thanks to the central office, they conducted the PEPT. This is the Philippine Educational Placement Test at Del Pilar Elementary School, Socorro, Surigao del Norte. Next slide, please. We mapped out some of the schools where we can bring the students in, and we found some schools nearby where we can enroll our students. Next slide, please. So these are actually our mapping and analysis of the number of students, how many teachers do we need, and how many temporary learning center can we build. Next slide, please. Now, this PPT actually comprises the test itself, Math, Science, Aral Pan, Filipino, and English. To give you a bit of a background in the next slide, this is all about assessment for learners in special circumstances. Results will allow learners to access or resume schooling and or obtain certification of completion by grade level in the formal system. This aims to establish the students that have met learning standards for specific grade levels, determine the appropriate grade level of learners, and assess competencies in all academic areas. Next slide, please. So these are the profile. This is the profile of the PPT takers. So from those number of learners, we got only 212. Okay, so the actual takers, we got from the total of registrants 266, we have 212, and then we have absentees of 54. Next slide, please. So these are the profile. No schooling, 66. All the rest, they either identified that they had their schooling in those grade level. Next slide, please. Okay, so out of the 212, we only have 42 passers. Okay, the rest, 170, failed the examination. Next slide, please. That's actually 19.8% passers, or 20%, 80% of which failed the examination. Next slide, please. So we have this our strategic direction. We will have to reintegrate the SBSI learners. Those who are passers will be enrolled in our regular school at Siring Elementary School for the elementary and at Tuyay National High School for the secondary. That's our public school. And then we enroll the 170 non-passers to the ALS and provide interventions for them to get the opportunity to take the accreditation and equivalency. And then we deploy excess teachers from other schools who are residents of Socorro willing to teach at Kapihan, where we mean at Tuyay and Siring Elementary School. So we would like to establish a temporary learning center there when LGU and DNR may provide an area. Then we include the feeding program to address also the malnutrition of our students. So, these are the deployed teachers at the right last column. We already identified the names of the teachers. We added the PT passers with the students, regular students at Atuyay and Siring Elementary School. So, next slide, please. So this is we also provided non-teaching personnel. This one is also for the ALS. This is for the junior high school. The other slide was for the elementary school. This one is for the junior high school. The next slide would be for the ALS.
Director Maria
Yes po.
Ines, by any chance po yung Lovely Bubble Simante ay yung si Lovely na resource person last hearing na dating DepEd teacher tapos nagre-reapply?
Hindi po, ma'am. Iba po yan, ma'am.
Salamat.
Okay, on process pa po yung application niya, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, this is for our ALS. We also identified teachers for elementary ALS and junior high school ALS. We do not have yet the senior high school at the moment. Thank you. Next slide, please. So these are our issues and challenges. Based on the PEPT results, learners are having problems with reading and of course competencies in all other learning areas. There are so many non-readers. It has been observed that children are pale, thin, and perceived malnourished. There are SBSI professional teachers who rendered services as teacher volunteers whose licenses have expired but yet willing to renew. We actually communicated this to PRC and I think they are willing also to assist. Okay, thank you. So we also observed that water and sanitation facilities are not seen, no conducive learning spaces, no classrooms, furnitures, fixtures for both learners and teachers. Then there are insufficient teaching and learning materials, no textbooks there. So our ways forward, we would like to revisit and revise the basic education learning continuity and reintegration plans for SBSI. And then we coordinate with the line agencies, also with the local government unit. And then we also would like to establish learning centers if allowed as well. And then we conduct literacy activities, interventions, and remediation programs. And then we will coordinate with the LGU, DNR for the provision of TLC at Sitio Kapihan. But our main focus is to reintegrate the students in the regular public and secondary schools. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Please.
Like Senator Rizal.
Sorry,
No, sir.
tapos na po.
Can we just finish with this? When we visited the SBSI last October 25, we were joined by USEC Revs Escobedo. So those are our documentations. Thank you so much, Your Honors.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead, Senator Rizal. Thank you, ma'am. RD Asuncion.
Oo, dagang salamat, Dr. Maria Ines. Sa unang pasada, may 500 plus children na hindi kumuha ng PEPT.
Yes, ma'am.
Meron po bang second round or up to third para
Yes, ma'am.
for whatever reason na miss nila yung una,
Yes, ma'am.
ay baka makuha pa sila, ma-reintegrate?
Actually, that was part of our investigation when we went there. We asked why are they not taking the examination. They said that those students who did not take the PPT would like to be at the ALS. Another thing is, for those who failed in one subject in a grade level, they can retake only that subject and proceed to the level that they're applying. So we will be rescheduling within 6 months. And those who failed in 2 or more subjects of the grade level they're applying, they have to retake all the learning areas. So within 6 months, we'll be scheduling another PEPT po. Thank you.
Marami pong salamat.
Thank you, ma'am. Yusik Felix T. You want to say something?
Mr. Chair, thank you. Just a brief update to the committee. on the developments of the preliminary investigation for the various respondents for this case. As the chairman knows, no, the DOJ's initial target to complete the preliminary investigation was mid-November. In fact, we conveyed this commitment to you back during our budget hearing, and we're happy to convey to the body that we were able to meet the target. As of November 3, the prosecution panel released a resolution that charged the 13 respondents in the case for 21 violations of law, no, including 13 respondents for 21 violations, including 9 counts for qualified trafficking in persons, 8 for child abuse, and 4 counts for solemnization or facilitation of child marriage. On November 6, balik kahapon lang, Mr. Chair, the informations were filed in Surigao, and just today, just this morning, in fact, the judge to whom the cases were raffled issued the warrant of arrest. NBI is en route, or maybe here right now, NBI NCR, to implement the warrants of arrest on the respondents who are present in the hearing. Moving forward, Your Honor, just to emphasize, Your Honor, sa 21 charges, 9 are for qualified trafficking in persons, which is non-bailable. Secretary Rimuli himself said yesterday in a press con that there's this intention to request for a change of venue for the preliminary investigation. So we will write the Supreme Court to the Office of the Court Administrator to change the venue from Surigao to maybe somewhere in Manila on the ground of the significance of this case as well as the protection of the victims of human trafficking here. And finally, this is not the beginning. The 21 charges were only limited to the initial allegations that were made in Surigao, as well as those additional allegations that were brought about by the previous hearing. So clearly, there are other incidents that we can look into, such as the children who died in childbirth, as well as the abuse of the senior citizen who testified earlier. Our task force will look into those as well. So with that, Your Honor, we'll just maybe seek permission to implement the warrant of arrest later on.
Thank you, Yusik. With that, meron ba kayong gusto magsalita sa inyo? Kayo nandyan lahat, magsalita kayo kung anong gusto. You are recognized, Mamerto Galanida.
Mr. Chair, we heard the integration plan prepared by the LG of Socorro and presented by Mr. Sangco. Actually, that is his plan. And also the integration plan of DepEd.
That is the plan of the local government unit of Socorro,
Supposedly,
not his plan. Kasi
supposedly,
parang pinipersonal mo si Mr. Sangco eh. Alam ko meron na kayong alitan nito, pero please respect the LGU. Kahit nagalit ka sa LGU ng kwan, huwag mo sabihin his plan. Actually, siya lang nagpresenta, but it is the plan of the LGU.
yes, Your Honor, because we know he's the one planning all of this, although it's sanctioned by the LGU. And then we heard also the presentation of DepEd. Thank you very much. Now, the presentation shared by our accusers are allegations. We invoke on the principle that the rights of the parties cannot be prejudiced by mere allegation, by an act or omission. So we have our courts of justice. Perhaps it's immature or premature to approve or present an integration plan because under the law we are presumed to be innocent under proven otherwise. So we request Your Honor that we leave it to the courts of justice. That's why we have been here detained for 40 days now, 40 days, denying us of our rights to look for our lawyers of our choice.
Why are you not? Are you deprived of your right of counsel while you are in detention?
No, what I mean is, in the next one, in the next, what is this, in the next steps, Your Honor, we have our lawyer, a very good lawyer, but we are still thinking of availing other legal services. And that, Your Honor, looking for resources. You know, we are poor. Please afford us the right to look for resources. Because it's not easy to be facing those heinous crimes, although we believe of our innocence. That's why we have been requesting, Your Honor, my children have pleaded na I should be released because of my physical condition. My two lawyers also pleaded 3 weeks ago, and I also wrote the committee to please release me because last October I was scheduled to be operated on my eye cataract. I repeat, Your Honor, until now I cannot even recognize your faces. It's a pity for a senior citizen, a sick man, to be incarcerated, Your Honor. So with this, Your Honor, I'd like to again plead in bended knees to please release us so that we'll be able to face the courts that the cases that have been filed us. I know all of these are fabricated. We believe in our justice system, and I know one day we will be set free out of these fabricated cases. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mamerto Galarida. We heard you loud and clear. But I repeat, this committee is not a court of law. The purpose of this committee hearing is in aid of legislation. That is why andito lahat ng mga pertinent government agencies in order for them to adjust their policies and their guidelines para maayos yung sitwasyon nyo dyan sa loob. At wag mo na magsabihin na kami nagiging bias sa inyo because we heard lahat ng sides ay pinapakinggan namin. Sino pang gusto magsalita sa inyo? Pakinggan namin before we adjourn. Sino pang gusto magsalita?
Your Honor, please, may I add? I can just see the inconsistencies heard by Mr. EDELITO SANGCO. Because for example, yung Kalangugan what's this? Watershed is not within our jurisdiction. It does not reach the resources, the watershed of Kalangugan. What is in us is the Mahambong, and we have been protecting that. Kung hindi lang kami nanirahan sa lado namin ngayon, ano kaya nangyari ng watershed ng Mahambong? In fact, because of audit, at all trees fell down almost 95%. So siguro yung nangahoy there is getting some kind of for firewood purposes. Yung mga fallen trees. And then we have planted, records will show that we have planted several thousands of magkuno seedlings just to protect the environment. So I think it's still premature to say because under the law, we are still presumed innocent unless proven otherwise, Your Honor. Thank you.
You are correct. I agree with you. Thank you for that. So, Sangco, hindi daw nila sakop yun yung pinipresenta mo. So why are you accusing them?
Ang sinabi ko, Mr. Chair, Kalangugan, Mahambong, Watershed, magkadikit lang siya eh, magkadikit. Ang kanilang PAGBARMA, andun na nakapaloob 50% sa Mahambong Watershed. Kasi sinabi ko dalawang spring, Kalangugan, Mahambong Springs, iisang area sila, 663 hectares. Dito sa Mahambong, andito yung PAGBARMA nila. Kaya ang pressure ng mga taga-kapihan na kumuha ng mga resources dito sa Mahambong Watershed ay napakatindi talaga ng pressures. At saka kung sasawayin ng Water District, sasabihin lang na itong mga resources na ito, pag-aari naman ng Diyos. At alam namin na zerins ang ibig nilang sabihin.
Okay. Any more? Sino pang gusto magsalita? Nasaan si Portillo? Yuri Portillo. Florencio Kiban. Kiban. Daryl Buntad. So, with that, Senator Risa, I would like to thank you for all your efforts in this investigation. You've been very hardworking. Alam kong feeling ng isang ina na nakikita yung mga bata na inaabuso. So, kaya nakita ko yung passion mo para mag-investigate. And I would like to thank you for that.
Daghang salamat po, Mr. Chair, dahil maagan yung sinet itong mga hearings natin. And really, the greatest thanks alang-alang sa ating mga child victim survivors at sa kanilang mga pamilya at buong komunidad. So nagsimula itong para sa Committee on Women, co-chairing with you, secondarily referred sa inyong komite. Para sa amin nagsimula talaga sa mga bata. At salamat sa lahat ng mga government agencies mula sa munisipyo hanggang sa pambansa na ngayon mas nag-uusap pa for an integrated approach sa reintegration at saka rehabilitation alang-alang sa komunidad at mga pamilya, lalong-lalo na ng mga batang ito. Daghang salamat.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chair.
Thank you, Senator Risa. So, Senator Risa, can you move for the, because after this I will adjourn.
Yes.
So, can you lift the contempt orders of this, you want to, okay. Yeah.
So gladly, Mr. Chair, I respectfully move to lift the order of contempt of our committees against the
Against the
four our
officers of
resource
PAGBABANTA,
persons.
SBSI.
Yes, officers of Socorro Bayanihan Services Incorporated. Mamerto Galanida, Janeth Ahok, Karen Sanico, and J. Renz Kilario. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Risa. But before I roll your motion, I would like to inform the body that right now the chair is in receipt of this paper, warrant of arrest, Republic of the Philippines Regional Trial Court, 10th Judicial Region, Branch 3, Dapa, Surigao del Norte. The people of the Philippines versus Jerens Boyser Kilario alias Senyor Aguila, Mamerto Digal Galanida alias Nan, Karen Juanite Sanico alias Nan, Janet Tamayo Ahok alias Nan, Winifredo Sarong Buntad alias Nan, Giovanni Liogen Cardosa Lasala alias Nan. Lasala, andito? Lasala. Buntad. Ibrahim Laugo Adlaw alias Nan. Adlaw. Jubilito Libay Antikuso alias Nan. Antikuso. Antikuso, saan? Antikuso. Ito. Dito ka. Serio Angkog Kubilyan alias Nan. Kubilyan. Daryl Ruaya Buntad alias Nan. Buntad. Yuri Gary Kiban Portillo alias Nan. Portillo. Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Florence Cosmiano Kiban. Kiban. John Ray Kaindoy Ilandag alias Nan. Kaindag Ilandag. John Ray dito. Accused. Criminal case number 23-198 to 23-205 for qualified trafficking in persons, violation of RA 9208 as amended, Section 4K to I in relation to Section 6A of RA number 9208 as amended. No bail recommended. So warrant of arrest to officer of the law. You are hereby commanded to arrest. Yung lahat ng sinabi ko kanina ng mga pangalan, and bring him or her or them forward before me to be dealt with according to law. The bail for the release of the accused in this case is fixed at no bail for 8 counts of qualified trafficking in persons, violation of RA 9208 as amended, Section 4KI in relation to Section 6A of RA number 9208 as amended. No bail bond recommended. Signed, Ambrosio Narada Moleta, acting presiding judge. So, before I roll the motion, I would like to advise the Sergeant at Arms to coordinate with the PNP and the NBI regarding their custody. You turn over the custody of these persons to the authorities. So, there was a motion for the lifting the contempt order of the four. Is there any objection? So, having none, hearing none, the motion is hereby approved. So again, nagpasalamat ako sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagdating. And in the interest of truth and justice, ako'y nagpapasalamat talaga sa inyo at mabigyan ng hustisya at makamit ang katotohanan dito sa issue na ito. Maraming salamat at magandang hapon sa ating lahat. The hearing is hereby adjourned.
Mag-subscribe at i-click ang notification bell para sa mga susunod na video updates. Maraming salamat po.